Hi, it's Scott, ROCKFILE, back with another podcast review. Going to talk about the new Umbrella 4K edition of No Escape, the 1994 film with Ray Liotta. Saw this in the theaters back in 1994 and really enjoyed the film. I've owned it on DVD. I think I had a Blu-ray copy of it, but I imported a 4K copy from the Atomic Movie Store, and it's a great copy of it. Martin Campbell, who would go on to direct several James Bond movies, directed this when he was trying to get his feet into directing. Gail Ann Hurd produced it. She had produced a lot of science fiction movies up to that point. Ray Liotta, Lance Henriksen, Stuart Wilson, great bad guy, Kevin Dillon, Kevin J. O'Connor, Michael Lerner, and Ernie Hudson. It's an incredible cast with music by Graham Revell. It's a great score as well. Based on a book called The Penal Colony, this takes place in the far-flung future of 2022, and Ray Liotta is guilty of some things, and he gets put in a maximum security futuristic prison, but he wants to go further. There is an island that's called Absalom, and they send the worst, the people they give up on, the people that have violated so many laws, there's no coming back. They send them to the island, and they forget about them. They live, die, whatever happens on the island stays on the island. You can't get off the island. You're sent there basically to die. So he gets into this prison. In the beginning, we see what event leads him to prison. Then we see him in prison try and get to Absalom, and then he's taken to Absalom. And the movie overseas was called Escape from Absalom, which is on the reverse cover of this Umbrella 4K release from Down Under. Movie looks fantastic. They went back to the original 35 millimeter film. Grain is handled really well, except for a scene or two. I mean, it looked great. It was bright, clear, lots of detail on close-ups, and there are a lot of close-ups in this. They did a really great job with the movie, I thought. I've never read the book, The Penal Colony, but rewatching this again after seeing more of these dystopian, futuristic kind of, jail movies, this one's really good. It plays out well. When he gets to the island, he first meets up with the Outsiders, a group of people that are run by the actor Stuart Wilson. He does a great job as the big baddie in the film. But he eventually gets away from them and gets to the other guys, which are basically the good guys. And they live out. They have a fortified little area that they secured, and they farm and they live much better than the dog-eat-dog on the other side. It's kind of like Mad Max versus Civilization. And you know that these two are going to be the fight throughout the thing. But there's more going on here than just an action movie and just a dystopian prison movie. We're learning about Ray Liotta and what really led him to this. And he's doing a fantastic. 1994, Ray was young. He looks fantastic. He's great in the role. Matter of fact, everybody in the movie is really, really good. My only disappointment with this Umbrella 4K is the soundtrack was a DTS HD 5.1, and it just didn't hit as hard. I, recently upgraded my home theater at home, and I can tell a big difference between really great soundtracks that hit hard and have a lot of depth and older soundtracks that have just kind of been brought in. This is definitely an older soundtrack that just didn't hit as hard as modern stuff. Believe me, it sounds good. There's a lot of directional stuff, helicopters flying around in 5.1, explosions, people talking over your back shoulder, that kind of thing. There is a lot of directional stuff. It just, when it came time for a big explosion or a big thumping kind of scene, we didn't really get that. But it sounds good. I don't want it to sound bad. It just doesn't compare to other modern soundtracks I've heard lately. There is a ton of extra, including a whole bunch of 2022 interviews that run 10 to 20 minutes each. They interview the producer, tell a little bit about Gail Ann Hurd's background, what she was into, and how she got into producing. And this is one of her earliest big hit movie. Well, not really a hit. It had a $20 million budget and only made about $20 million. So didn't do well, but it's held up over the years. It's been a cult classic. Like I said, as far as I'm concerned, it's one of Kevin J. O'Connor's best. It's one of Kevin Dillon's best. There are just a lot of actors who do some really good work in this, even though they don't have a whole lot of screen time, because it basically is Ray Liotta's movie with a lot of other characters involved, and they're all really good, and the movie plays out well. It's just under 2 hours. Like I said, it looks really good in 4K. I had a really great time with this. I'd give it about a 3.5 to a 4 because it's solid, well made. When it's over, there's not a whole lot to chew on after, but you could have some great conversations after. The villain gets his, and we kind of get what goes on after. Never made a sequel to it, and never really did a whole lot, but I've always enjoyed No Escape, otherwise known as Escape from Absalom, and it looks great in this Umbrella 4K. Wish the soundtrack had been updated. Glad there's a whole bunch of extras. All in all, I highly recommend it if you love the film. It looks fantastic in 4K. This is one of those movies that got thrown out on like just a Blu-ray from, a side company kind of thing. It never really got a major release like this, and so I'm glad it did. I like No Escape. I love Ray Liotta in it, and Martin Campbell did a good job. This is why he got the James Bond jobs after, I'm sure. Another thing that makes the movie, practical effects and practical sets. There is no green screen in this. If he's standing on the side of a cliff about to fall off, he's literally standing on the side of a cliff about to fall off. There was a couple times with the 4K you could tell stuntmen kind of did some of the scenes and it wasn't the main actors, but that's okay. Everything is practical. The blood effects, some of the violence, that's all practical. And like I said, the big fortified town that they've built outside the jungle, really built that. I think it was filmed in South Africa, and they really built it from top to bottom. So when there's 20 guys or 30 guys or 40 guys running towards something, they really had 40 guys running towards a real thing. This plays so well in the movie. That's why the movie holds up, that everything in it feels real. There's a few special effects in the beginning with the train that takes them to the prison. You can tell that's a miniature. But other than that, the entire movie just looks fantastic because it was filmed in real places with real actors, real sets, and real special effects. No Escape holds up well for a 1994 film now that it's 32 years old. Check it out in Umbrella's new 4K edition. I'm Scott. I'm ROCKFILE with more podcasts on the way. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have a spectacular day.